Hello, this is Adam from the Bygone Times. I hope you're doing well. Today we're going to look at a few pages from an old photo album. The album is gone. Just have these loose pages. They came from an antique shop that my parents had run at some point, and these are kind of some leftovers. I don't know much about these photos or the people who are in them, but they're interesting nonetheless. So first we have our new home in Shore Acres, Mobile, Alabama. A house with a couple of people there out front. Looks like a farm of some sort. A barn and the water tank. The gravity fed water. And down here we have a couple of fellas with their straw hats and some interesting background there. The house and some plants. And then over here we have a couple of maybe young guys fooling around a little bit. Maybe getting in some trouble, maybe just having a little fun. Looks like a fun summer day overall. I don't know if there's anything on the back of these or not. Oh, there is. Okay. So here we have the dining room of the Beach Hotel at Battles Wharf, Baldwin County, Alabama. It says it was built by slaves in 1842. Wow. I don't know when this picture or postcard is from. Obviously after 1842. Okay, here's a side shot of a house with a chimney. So a ladder, somebody's been doing some work. And then we have maybe a family picture here of some sort. Looks like they're in their Sunday best. Maybe an older woman and some younger adult women with some children and a bunch of men. Alright. Back here we have a lady all done up in her best, and oh my goodness, she's holding, what are those, rabbits? Probably going to sell the fur. Wow. Don't see that too often today. And over here we've got, looks like a girl and her dog in front of a house. On this sheet we have a buy government bonds stamp with the Lady Liberty there, the Statue of Liberty, and then a picture of some men and women on a log. Looks like they're out for a picnic maybe. I think their wide brim hats on. Alright. Maybe the same crew. Be young people, it's hard to say for sure. The men are kind of standing in the shadows there. And then we have some ladies, young ladies, standing on what looks like to be a block wall with a house in the background. All right. Let's see, what do we have here? Meet my roommates, Eva and Grace. Alright, so one of these is probably the person who wrote that, and one is Eva, one's Grace. I don't know which. They're standing there with a big pile of wood. And then we've got, what, a couple here? The man might be smoking. Standing at the side of a house as well. And on the back we have maybe some of the same young ladies. Kind of have those, like the sailor tie attire. We have a couple of young ladies here. Pruning the hemlock, or the hedges, maybe it's hemlock, don't eat that. And then here we have another lady, probably the same one from here, at least it looks similar. Okay, now here we have what looks to be maybe a fancy home that's got a fence gated in front of it. Here's a closer up view of the gate and the fence, or maybe a different part of the fence. Alright, and here we have another gathering of people in, looks like fancy clothes, you know, good clothes of some sort. And someone is reveling here. He's got his hat raised high in the air. And then here is another group, probably the same people. Yeah, there's the hat raised high again. Maybe he's just trying to block out the sun. There's an old automobile and a big tree there, giving them backdrop. Okay, now we have somewhat of a family outing here with, looks like a dad and a young child and maybe older child riding a bicycle in the background. Lots of green trees behind them, even though you can't see the green. And then there's the dad and the little girl. Probably a little girl. There's a picture of my grandfather dressed like that in the 1920s or so. So it's not always a little girl who wore those types of outfits for our picture, but I think that was a little girl. Okay. Now this little girl kind of is done up like a baby doll. Kind of looks like some of the dolls that maybe have been popular as antiques. Big smile though. Looks like the same smile between those two pictures to me. A couple little girls in the ivy here next to a house. It's always interesting to think about who these people are and what their lives were like, and if any of them are still around. These are pretty old pictures, so that seems fairly remote, but you never know. Young guy here. Not sure what he's up to. He's heading to work maybe. I don't know. And there's the sailor girl outfit with a little picket fence behind her. Alright, and we've got maybe 3 sunbathers or something. Definitely in the sun. Those hats are something else. They're standing on here, a pile of railroad ties, I think. And then here's a little girl with her parasol. Maybe at the beach, maybe just out on a sunny day. There's a bridge behind her. Let's see what's on the back here. Alright. And looks like we've got, I think it's a girl who maybe has just crossed the monkey bars or is considering it, and there's also some sort of a bar above. I don't know if you would probably swing on that. Trapeze type of a bar. And then a couple of young ladies standing next to a concrete fence, it looks like. Concrete barricade. Wonder where they are.